All right, so here is my last episode of what is this ketogenic diet everybody's talking about. So today I'm going to talk about why you may not be seeing the results that you want to be getting off of this, okay? Because some people, they just get great results and they never have to track or measure anything. And then there's some people who are like, okay, I've tried it and it doesn't work. And I want you to know that maybe, kind of ask yourself this: was I strict enough with the diet? And by strict enough, I don't mean like taking things away or putting things in and starving yourself. What I mean with strict is, if you've watched all of my episodes, you'll kind of understand when I come at you with the most common kind of mistakes that might be hampering your progress, that maybe need a little tweak here or there. And remember, it's an experiment. So we're experimenting with this, and everybody has different levels, which I've discussed. And some people go into ketosis faster than others. And the reason being activity levels, age, weight. Are you a hard carb eater, or are you a not so hard carb eater? So here's what I see a lot of with people that I have discussed with it and actually have read. There's more, but I'm just going to go with like the 4 common ones. You're eating too much protein. Now, I talked about that when we were discussing, like, how do you actually get into ketosis? Well, you're eating too much protein, which then halts everything. You may just be like, hey, I'm going to eat a chicken breast for lunch today. You can totally knock yourself out of ketosis by eating a chicken breast. Smother that baby in some butter and throw some cheese on it. Because if you're eating too much protein, remember I talked about it, that it will halt your progress, and it will also raise your carb levels inside your body. Wait, what? I know. Go back and figure that one out. I'll put links to everything into my other episodes as to how too much protein can totally knock you right out of a ketogenic state. So once again, I talked about the fats. Are you eating enough fats? When I say that, I mean all the fats. I mean saturated fats, everything, okay? Eat the butter, eat the sour cream, eat the whipped cream. Why not? The thing of it is if you're not eating enough fat, that's what jumpstarts the ketones, okay? The amount of fat that you're having is very important to this progress. And you want that to be what, 75, 85%? Some people are only eating like 60 and it's not working. So there's some adjustments you need to make, okay? Another one is eating too much too often. We've all been taught this, like, let's eat every 3 to 4 hours. Let's eat 6 to 7 meals a day. Now, I'm not saying like, don't keep track of things. It's not so much this 3 to 4 hours, 6 to 7 meals, counting calories type thing when you're talking keto eating. What you need to make sure that you're not eating too much of is obviously too much protein, too much fat, or not too much fat. Whoa, we want that. Too much carbs. That will halt your progress also. So you want to make sure that you know where you're supposed to be with things, and you kind of do. Yes, you want to measure. You want to keep track. If you're not measuring and you're not seeing results, then it's time to re-examine and say, hey, I need to be a little more strict with some of these things. I know that I'm only supposed to have 5 to 10% of my diet in carbs, which is basically 100 grams or under. You can't just eat 20 grams of carbs and then eat whatever of the rest, because if you're not eating enough fat, you're not jump starting the ketones. If you're eating too much protein, you're backfiring everything, see? So now I know I talked about yesterday about measuring it, and I said that it wasn't 100% important. Like, don't fly out there and be like, I need to go buy all these little machines and these sticks and these test things and these breathalyzers. Don't feel like that's the be all end all and you have to have that. Go ahead and buy them if you want, but here's another factor that if you're not seeing the results, like I said, some people don't even have to measure anything. I don't measure my blood. I don't want to poke myself. But if I were doing this and like being completely frustrated and checked how much fat I was eating, how much protein I was eating, was I eating too much too often? When you're eating enough fat and enough of the right fats, you're going to be full that you're not even going to be hungry every 3 to 4 hours. So there's no reason to eat 6 or 7 times a day. I pretty much eat 3 times a day. And I'm not really hungry that often. Usually in the morning I'm hungry. And I'll tell you why at the end of all this. Because there's another step that I do that I don't throw people into. I'm not going to tell people to do this one. Because I just kind of started it and took me a while to get used to it. So I'm not even going to go in there. But when you're failing to stabilize your blood sugar levels by eating too much carbs, too much protein, not enough fat, that also halts the production of ketones, because hand in hand they go together. When your blood sugar levels come down and they stabilize, your ketones are like, hey dudes, let's have a party and let's start producing like crazy animals. They work hand in hand. So yes, you would need a glucometer and you would need to prick your finger to figure this one out. But like I said, if you're seeing results and you're feeling great and things are working good for you and you've checked all of these other ones that I've discussed, this would be like, for me, in my opinion, the last thing for me to prick my finger, okay? That's just another thing where it's working, it's not broke, I'm not gonna fix it. So, what I said was not being hungry, okay? So there's another step that I've taken with the whole ketosis thing, and I'm not going to go into huge detail with it. But what I am going to tell you is, with all the messages that I'm getting and all of the comments and things the positive things that I'm finding is that, and I posted this on the first day, that I am considering, and I've got it all outlined, I just need to throw it together, not throw it together, but put it together. I'm considering doing a 30-day keto experiment group, and I need some beta testers, meaning like I need 5 to 10 people who are willing to do this for 30 days, and you're going to get me for 30 days giving you this kind of advice and some other advice that goes a little bit further into the whole ketogenic eating and the ketogenic state. So if it's something you're interested in, I want you to either message me or comment below. My beta testers will be a free group, obviously, and we will just be totally knocking out ketosis and figuring out how to get you in the right, what your exact formula is for each person as we experiment what your levels should be and where you're going to be and how you're going to see the best results. Because to me, this is something that is just overlooked, and I want to open it up and kind of open people's eyes up to it. So if you're willing to take a 30-day experiment and figure out what your hypothesis would be, lose weight, not lose weight, get into ketosis, not get into ketosis, love it, hate it, whatever it is, I want to take you on. So I'm looking for, like I said, 5 to 10 people. I'm going to put it together within the next few weeks, and we'll get started with it. So if that is something you're interested in, and if you're not sure, like, what the heck is she talking about, go back and read my blogs and watch my videos so you know exactly, where everything is at. Like I said, it's not the be all end all. It's not the same formula for everybody. It's not the same, like, oh, well, they're eating this much protein, so why can't I? Because you can't, because it's different. Don't compare yourself to other people. What I am trying to do is educate you, and then you can make an educated decision. So that's basically what the 30-day experiment will be. I'm not, once again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I just want to be a mad scientist and experiment with everybody for 30 days. And I want to kind of educate you a little bit further than what I did over these 5 episodes. So if that is something you are interested in, please message me, or if you know someone that you shared this with, because I know that my videos have been shared on other pages. So if you're like, hey, my brother's, sister's, uncle's cousin has always wanted to try this, so let them know and have them contact me, because I'm going to start to make a list of people who are looking into doing this, and then when I'm ready, we're going to start the 30 days and we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it for 30 days, and we're going to conduct the hugest experiment of all time with me. So thanks, guys, for getting into all of this with me and watching all of my episodes and reading my blogs about it. And I appreciate all the positive feedback I'm getting on it. And like I said before, if you have anything that you want to contribute and you're doing this and you're like, hey, this has worked for me, that hasn't worked for me, where am I at with things, let me know, because that way I can actually, I can form my group around that, and I can, like, this is what's good, this is what isn't good. But like I said, I just want to kind of go a little further with it and take it into a 30-day group type thing and teach you guys a little bit more, because it gets a little more in depth than what I've just talked about here. Not like crazy, but enough to where you're like, hey, because remember I said I don't get hungry except for sometimes in the morning. So I want to educate you guys on that. So that's another step I want to get a little bit further with. Oh, and I want to kind of educate you on how you can make some really, really cool coffee. So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later and see you in my next series. So I'm going to take a day off tomorrow and then start the day after that. All right, have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.